What's that all about, Matt?
Oh man, there is a lot of shock and awe in today's show.
Especially for me.
Especially for you because of something that your son did yesterday on the auction block.
So, we've been focusing a lot on young bidders, and well, I happen to have a 21-year-old son that has been in the market for a car. He started working for Mecum around, I think, 3 auctions ago, and every time he's like, "I'm going to bid on it. I'm like, he's never going to win, right? There's no chance. He's going to go for these higher price vehicles with, reserves." So yesterday he came up and he's like, "Mom, I got my bidder's pass," and I was like, I wasn't even worried about it. I was like, he's gonna look at cars and he's gonna get too nervous to bid or whatever the case may be. Well, Matt, that just wasn't the case yesterday because my son bought his first car, his first own car at Mecum auctions. I just don't know what to say.
Well, obviously, it's very exciting to purchase a vehicle at Mecum Auctions. I will say I was a little caught off guard by what he purchased. He purchased a 2004 Mercedes-Benz SLK 320, a great little sports roadster. I was a little bit surprised because
He's 6 foot.
He's 6 foot.
Yep.
In the last couple of auctions, I had spent some time with him looking at potential candidates, and he was definitely more in a truck mode. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if it was just being in Florida and feeling the vibe and wanting an open air sports car, but I think it's great and a memory he'll hold on to for a long time.
And guess what gets to happen after the auction ends, Matt?
What happens, Bree?
My son, myself, and my adorable dog, Prince Frederick, get to drive it all the way home back to Wisconsin.
That does sound fun.
Oh yeah, loads. Yes, I can't wait.
Well, you'll have a lot of fun. And speaking of fun and what's in store for today, let's get into it. It is Friday, July 12th, and this is Mecum in the Morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Episode 8.
Episode 8. We are cruising right along. And on the docket for today, there's going to be 310 vehicles slated to cross the auction block. That contains vehicles from 4 different collections, in addition to 32 pieces of road art. And speaking of road art, Breon, we have a bit of a follow-up piece from a topic of the conversation on yesterday's show related to some rockets. And we went down and checked them out on the red carpet. Here's what we found.
All right, Matt, when we were upstairs, we talked about the rocket on this morning's show. We looked down and you claimed the blue was yours and the red was mine.
I did.
What did you like particularly? Just the color?
Just the color, because they're the same. If you have the choice, you always pick blue.
Just noticed something about them that I didn't notice before are the guns. Is that for fighting aliens from Mars?
Right. I mean, haven't you seen Star Wars?
I have never seen an episode of Star Wars, which
An
am I allowed to? I don't know.
An
Is it a
episode.
movie? Oh, that's Star Trek. No, I haven't seen Star Trek either.
Yes.
But
An
again,
episode of Star Wars. Wow.
Matt, we checked out the rockets. They're really cool. I want to see who ends up. But I just noticed that road art's about to start, so let's go check it out.
Let's go.
As we mentioned before, road art happens every morning at the auctions. It usually starts about an hour to a half an hour before it starts. We got the inside line. We're actually able to walk it before these items actually hit the block in about 10 to 15 minutes. This is one of our highway highlights. It's the Party on the River neon sign. Anyone who knows me knows I like to party, and being on the river makes it even better. So I can imagine this hanging in my garage or outside on our patio. The neons are a really great, I would say, entry point into collectors or getting excited about things. They're, the price points aren't too high. They look really great. Again, like I said in the video, Party on the River is never a bad thing to do. So that might be going home with me today, but I don't think we can fit it in the trunk of the Mercedes my son just bought. We did get some follow-up, though. Even after we filmed the piece yesterday, Tiffany from our road art team sent us some really good tidbits about the rocket ships, because obviously we didn't have a lot of information yesterday. They come from the Alan Herschel Skyfighter. They were first introduced in 1952 as part of what you thought, an amusement ride. So there's brothers and sisters of them out there that aren't fully painted. But yes, they were modeled to look like realistic alien fighter jets. So around in 1952, but I can bet for the kids of that age. They had a lot of fun on those rocket ships.
Yeah, and you know, we've got a vintage ad here. You can see it would have been on an articulating arm and obviously would have gone around in a circle, gone up and down, and allowed kids to kind of, but really neat pieces. And I will say one of the things that obviously stands out with these two rockets are just how well they've been restored back to how they would have been when they were new.
Yeah, I did happen to see that there are ones that weren't in that same level of condition out there available too. The paint's been stripped off, some are missing guns. So we really do have the two best out of what's out there.
All right, well, we have another highway highlight, and this one was, I think, impossible to miss, Breon. You had picked out what you're calling the party bus. How does this kind of fit into your overall Florida vibe thing?
Well, I think Florida is known for parties, right? But actually, I have a new idea for this bus. I'm actually going to change it to the On the Move with Matt Avery.
I'm down, especially with
Can you let people know what On the Move is?
Sure, absolutely. So, and I will say I'm down with how well this bus has been treated inside, but On the Move is going to be a brand new online YouTube show that's going to be hosted on Mecum Auctions, and it's an opportunity for the Mecum Auctions team to kind of get out in the field, and I'll be hosting it, kind of documenting some automotive adventures and travels in between Mecum auction events. And so we had a great first piece just a couple weeks ago on the Hot Rod Power Tour. We showed you, the viewers, that at the beginning of this week. And we have a lot of more great content heading your way, both on the Mecum YouTube channel, as well as right here on Mecum in the Morning.
So the On the Move logo would look excellent with that red maroon party glitter. Like, I think it would be great. I think that's
so.
great for you and Cody for production wise. I think it's just the perfect vehicle. So I've repurposed it from party bus to On the Move with Matt Avery bus. Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. Well, as I said, there's a lot more in store ahead, both with Mecum in the Morning and with On the Move with Matt Avery. Stay tuned for that. Let's talk about some other vehicles that were on site here at the auction, Breon. I was out walking through the tents that we have here and all the great vehicles on display, and I will say a trio caught my eye, and kind of keeping with your Florida theme, these definitely have some Miami vibe to them. I caught up with the owner and builder of them, and I heard his story. Here it is. I'm here with Rolly Fernandez, and Rolly, you brought out a customized trio of unique builds. Before we get to them, fill me in. How did you get into this wild world of car customization?
Well, to keep it real, you know, like I always say, since I was a little kid, I love cars. And then little by little, I start customizing. Then, you know, when I was in high school, I had one of these, or the wildest car in the parking lot, even though it was high school. To answer really your question, how I got into it, is because the next friend to the next friend to the next friend tell me, hey, Rolly, will you do this to my car? Or what will you do? And before, you know.
And you've always been set up in the Miami area, and in your travels, you were able to connect with the George Barris, and he gave you a special nickname. What was it?
Yeah, rest in peace. He named me Miami's King of Custom, and that name stuck. And hey, listen, sticking all the time with me, Miami's King of Custom, Rolly Fernandez, really opened a lot of doors for me. He was a great, great friend, rest in peace. And everybody knows who George Barris was.
Along the years of customizing cars, what builds have stood out? Any celebrities or movie cars?
Yes, we did a movie back on the 80s called Nasty Hero. And in the entire movie, every single one of the vehicles were my custom pieces or vehicles that I was attached to or connected to in one way or the other. Then I did a lot with Miami Vice, with the transportation captain at the time.
You've definitely got some one-of-ones. Let's dive into the orange truck behind us. Fill me in on some of the details and highlights.
Listen, this vehicle here is what is called a Phantom Dually. And back in the late 80s, early 90s, we built several of them. And what it was is you take a dually wheel and you take the double wheels and you put a big Phantom wheel on it. So it's extremely big, as you can see on this one. We did the tail, we put the Trans Am on the fenders, we did a custom hood that is out of this world. It's almost one that I did. And that's what makes it a Rolly vehicle.
The black truck, that has an equal impressive amount of work done to it. What are some of the custom touches on that?
This particular truck, I did a custom hood on it. We custom mold a couple of pieces to it just to make it a little more different. But it's a full white body kit. It's a dually. That one is a real dually. It's a fully loaded truck. That's what we start with.
And then wrapping up the set, you've got a very unique luxury SUV. Fill me in on the Range Rover.
The luxury, the performance on that vehicle from factory, and then adding this body kit, adding the wheels, because, you know, wheels make or break a vehicle. I'm going to work on these custom vehicles to the day I die. I love them. I get up in the morning and I think, what is next? What am I going to do? And then when you meet a family like Mecum, listen, I love these people. I love building these cars and bringing them here. So, I have to say a big shout out for them, and because they are. The whole crew that works here, really, my heart goes out to them. They work with, they're great people. It's a great family, and I'm proud to be here.
Well, one of one certainly defines this very unique trio. Rolly, thanks so much for sharing your story.
Thank you so much.
I look forward to seeing what's next.
And yeah, that's what we do. We custom build.
Okay, not only do I love those cars in the interview, but that gold chain is definitely a Florida vibe.
Well, and Rolly's personality definitely gave off a Florida vibe, man. He had so much energy. And what I really liked about his story, Breon, was decades of passion. You can't fake that.
No,
and,
you can see it.
The fact that when I first chatted with him at the start of the auction a couple days ago, it was so fascinating how fast he could pull up that photo album of the previous jobs that his shop had been responsible for. And to me, it's just, he loved talking about it. And when I saw the trucks that he had, I was like, we got to talk more about these. Now, they did cross the block yesterday. The Range Rover sold. Okay. The other two are still available through Bid Goes On. But I know Rolly was thrilled to be out here. And as we talked about in the interview, I'm really excited to see what he does next. I know he has many more ideas in his head.
You can't fake passion, right?
No.
You could tell he's passionate about what he does, and it's just really nice when you get a chance to meet with the consigners and hear their stories and the inspiration behind either why they're just selling whatever vehicle they have or the custom work that goes into them.
Right, and I will say too, I think that the design influence of those cars, that era is coming back in fashion. The 80s and 90s, I mean, through fashion, I feel like through shoes, and I think even in cars, now newer and younger collectors are actually seeking that style out just because it's kind of become hip again.
Never gone out. I think I've always been stuck in the 80s and 90s, good pair of Jenko jeans and my dad's oversized flannel and maybe like a little Typhoon, one of those old trucks from back in the day.
Absolutely.
I could do that.
Okay,
yeah, I'll bring that all back.
And music,
yeah.
Okay. What would be on your, not 8-track, but cassette?
You and I talked about this. If we did a road trip, it'd definitely be 90s R&B.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
okay.
There's no doubt.
Sign me up.
Okay.
All right, well, another consignment here at the auction caught the eye of our producer, Alyssa. Man, I tell you what, she loves motorcycles.
Just a little bit.
I know you do too. And
but before we go to video, have we mentioned that she built and raced her own race motorcycle in Build Train Race Series? So she always gets mad when I mention it, but her love and passion for motorcycles extends beyond anything I know.
Well, and of course here at Mecum Auctions we have a great motorcycle division, and here at the auction we have a couple standout pieces, and one of them was a motorcycle from Sears, and Alyssa has the inside scoop on the history of it. Here, take a look.
Hey everyone, my name is Alyssa, and truthfully, I am normally the one behind the camera, especially on the Mecum in the Morning show, but I had to stop and take a look at this Sears Autocycle. That's right. I'm sure you're familiar with Sears, the department store that back in the day you could mail order everything from clothing to tools to furniture for your house. In fact, I think my washing machine might even be from Sears. And this was back in 1910 when they actually did motorcycles, or as you say, autocycles. This little guy has a little over 4 horsepower and has a leather belt final drive, something that you certainly won't see on modern motorcycles. Other interesting thing that catches everyone's attention is the front headlight. This is a gas lamp. So back in 19, mail ordered this motorcycle for about $162. Which was actually about 50 bucks cheaper than the competitors at the time that were Indian and Harley Davidson. You could basically buy this motorcycle for the equivalent of about $4,100 back in 1910 for $162. Sears motorcycles actually had a good reputation for being durable and rugged motorcycles. We've been watching a lot of heads turn looking at this piece of motorcycling history, and of course a lot of people recognize the Sears name as a department store that once upon a time you could mail order a motorcycle. As an avid motorcyclist, I had to stop and take a look. Thank you for humoring me, and we'll see you in the next one.
What a beautiful motorcycle, and Alyssa told us that it was around $4,000 back in the day, so that's pretty low cost. I wonder what the equivalent would be today. I'm not really good at that math stuff. But on the topic of motorcycles, some of the first things to roll off the line today or over the block after Road Art is some beautiful Kawasaki dirt bikes from the Hendrix collection. I got a chance to speak to the owner yesterday, actually a few times since we've been here, because I'm so in love with these motorcycles. The restoration of these dirt bikes is just immaculate. It looks like they've never been rode, and I can tell you, if you owned a dirt bike back in the 80s or 90s, you definitely rode it, and you rode it hard. Mr. Hendrix from the Hendrix collection is actually bringing about 40 other motorcycles to the area. So I'm really excited to talk to him and see what he has to bring. But I would urge anyone that if you're watching us online or on the phone or whatever it is, to get up, register and bid and get these motorcycles. The Kawasaki's are all selling at no reserve. So what a steal.
And while we're on the topic of two wheels, I know we had a little bit of dialogue yesterday about the Minion bike and the other single kind of fender bike. Both of those sold as well yesterday. I think we were on the block and we watched them, and I think we were both pretty surprised at what they brought.
But the hilarious thing is our consignment guys for the motorcycle division, Craig, actually got to ride the Minion bike off the block, and he had a little bit of fun. I sent the video over to our social team, but it looked like he was about to pop a wheelie on the Minion bike. So I can't wait to see that video live somewhere.
All right, well, let's move on to another one of our great sponsors here at Mecum Auction, State Farm, and at the Mecum Auction and our vendors row. You can stop by. They have so much going on in their booth. They have a photo op and some other interesting things that you can do there. And we were able to catch up with Patrick, one of the representatives, for a little bit more about what all happens in the State Farm booth here at Mecum Auctions.
I'm Patrick with State Farm, and we're giving away free souvenir bags with photos in front of the 69 Chevelle we have over there. We print out copies of photos, family souvenir photos. We also have Jake's Arcade Challenge. Jake is running a course and he tries to capture the musical notes, and there's some Mecum neighborhood in the background, different cars and things in there. And the top score of every day gets a $50 Mecum online gift card. And then at the end of the year, all the top scores go in for a raffle for a Mecum Gold Pass. They're with Mecum for many years now. Great to see a lot of the people go from auction to auction, and they'll come to our booth and we get to remember them, or we see them once a year in that particular city. And we get to look at beautiful cars all day long. Couldn't get any better.
You know, one of the great things about their area, Breon, is the vehicle that's showcased there. It's a gorgeous, look like 69 Chevelle. You can take a photo with it. It's a great memory, great way to kind of have a keepsake from coming out to the auction.
Yeah, and that particular car is actually rolling across the block towards the end of the day tomorrow. We got to pick it. I was really excited. Jeff, who helps with our partners and sponsors here, is unable to be here this weekend, so he kind of gave me the task. So I pulled in Dre from our presentation team to find the right car, and we looked long and hard and we just settled on that, and it looks really great. And I think it's, again, one of the last vehicles to roll off the block tomorrow.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
What an icon of the muscle car era. Very cool stuff. And something else we've talked about all week is the Mecum shop. And I see that you are wearing the exclusive event tee, the Gator shirt.
So I ran after the show ended yesterday. I was like, I'm the one who always tells people that the event tees are most likely to sell out. You got to get them. And I was like, I haven't even gotten one myself, and it's become like a new thing for me. Is that, you know, when we go to our auction, is buying the event tees. So I had to. I love the alligator. I love the Viper on the back, the color and everything. But yeah, I can't get enough of this t-shirt.
Well, someone else, but also our merch area is episode, or in this Kim's Corner. Kim went over to the Mecum shop and she did some shopping.
She did.
And here's how that played out.
Hey, I'm Kim, and today we're going to look in the Mecum shop. I never get to shop, so come on, let's go. For the little one in your life, or for yourself? We have gentlemen looking for their little toys for their own vehicles at home. What kind do you have?
68.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just out of luck today, aren't we?
No, sir, never out of luck. Now, did you see the Florida shirts?
Yeah, that's nice.
Looky there, that's what you need.
That's my color, isn't it?
That is your color. See me shirts? Looky. You need to come on down. You can buy these also online. Oh my word, you got to have the Florida Kissimmee alligator shirt. And look right here. You know what? I think this would go with you.
You think so?
I like that one.
It's got you written all over it.
This is you.
All over it.
All right, and we also have kids' clothing. I don't ever get to play in the merch area, but I love it because they have the funnest clothes and the softest material. Here's one as a souvenir for Mecum. So if you just need something small to take home to someone, here is a cool Mecum keychain. Oh my God. Of course, you have to get the car tags. Everybody has to have a car tag. If you can't shop here, go online to the Mecum shop and you buy your merchandise today. They have got some of the neatest. We even have golf balls. Here in Florida, if you need an umbrella, come to the Mecum shop.
Oh man, Kim just has a blast with everything. After the day ended yesterday, Kim came running up to me. She's like, Bree, I had the best day ever since working at Mecum. I'm like, what did you do? She's like, myself and Alyssa went over and we went shopping. And she just couldn't contain herself. She had so much fun. She wants to do more of that. Again, folks, everything that you see at the Mecum shop here in person is also available online. So if you're watching us and you don't have plans to come to the auction itself, go to Mecum shop, purchase, order. They ship things out pretty quickly. We do new drops every once in a while, so make sure that you do pay attention to the website because you might see something that you didn't see a week or two before. I know in the next couple months we're going to be dropping some pretty cool merchandise, I have to say.
And if you come out here to the Osceola Heritage Park Fairgrounds and you attend the Mecum auction today or tomorrow, we do have two different shops located both in the entryway and then also in the staging lanes where you can, obviously where one of them was where Kim was, and there's another one in the staging lanes where you can shop and see all kinds of cool different items.
Yeah, so this morning, I mean, it's still pretty early in the morning, but a lot of our customers are here getting their table set, looking through the catalogs. I walked past a couple people and we're all wearing the same shirt and we're like, hey, nice shirt, you know, whatever. So get them before it runs out. I know Kayla from our social media team actually picked one up for herself. So everyone's gonna be twinning today, but with alligators and vipers, like,
no, but I am rocking one of my favorites. I like the neon.
You are partial to neons. I remember one of our first episodes, you mentioned that you do like neons.
I do like neons, and I also mentioned I have a penchant for the Avery Tractor Company, which we'll have to talk about on a future episode.
Do you have any desire to actually own one of those one day?
An Avery Tractor?
Yeah, and do On the Move with Matt Avery via tractor.
Or like Matt Avery owns a farm?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Actually, you know, this brings up a good point. So we have, and we'll provide a larger segment on time tomorrow, but currently we have the Burbach tractor auction going on live through one of our other businesses called Mecum on Time. The auction is set to run till August. So if you are on the lookout for tractors, this is quite a big auction for us. So head over to On Time. It's free to register. It's free to bid. It's 24/7. Again, Burbach tractor auction is going on until middle of August. So I just wanted to give that a plug. You mentioned a tractor and it just sparked me that we do have a whole nother business component called On Time, and there's a few tractor auctions that are currently going on.
And that is a really good point, Breon, is that the tractor and agricultural segment is very big with collectors. You know, obviously when people think of Mecum auctions and they think of the collector car space and car shows, what naturally comes to mind are, you know, your big chrome classic cars or muscle cars. But when you talk about people that have a passion for wanting to fill their garage or their downstairs with all kinds of items, or their barn, tractors and again vintage pieces of farming are very sought out and collectible. We see that both with our road art, a lot of pieces like that, and then also at the auctions we have tractors. I think we have a couple today, including some vintage Lamborghini tractors.
Lamborghini tractors. Right. I think we should try to race those down the midway. Yeah.
But obviously it speaks to the passion that people have for all kinds of different modes of transportation. And as we close out today,
it looks like we're getting kicked out.
We are. But let's also talk a little bit about our social engagement, because we've asked all week long, we're going to keep asking, if you have a comment or question for Breon or myself or the show about our preference for 80s music or our favorite cars or what's here at the auction, drop a comment across all of Mecum's social channels, or if you're here at the auction, Breon and I, we're out and about. We'll be down the block. We'll be out in some of the tents. Stop us. The show in tomorrow's morning show, I'm going to go out and preview some of the vehicles that people have sent in saying they wanted highlighted.
I can't wait to see what people wants to see and what you have to say about them.
I've got a lot of thoughts on some very unique vehicles that people have sent in, so thanks for sending those in. Keep sending them in, and as you can tell, things behind us are revving up for the auction for today here at Friday at the Florida Summer Special. Things are going to get underway in just a couple of moments. You can catch the auction live stream in just a couple of minutes at Mecum.com, and then at noon Eastern, tune in to the live TV coverage on Max.com.
See you guys tomorrow.